Type 2.
This poem is set up above us here in the long room in the gallery. And the library here in Trinity College asked me for a poem about the library. And this is what I wrote. The Long Room Gallery, Trinity College, Dublin. There is nothing to breathe here in the gallery except old years. The air from today goes in one lung, and 1783 comes out the other. As for spirits, stand perfectly still, and you will feel them carousing near your ear. Tourists down below think they've seen a ghost when they spot you floating through bookcases over their heads. On a creaky wooden balcony, you tunnel through centuries, mountains of books rising into the cumulus. You could scale a ladder up the rock face of knowledge, or search the little white slips stuck in the books for a personal message from Swift. Ancient oxygen, antique dust particles, petrified wood. Who are you kidding? You belong down there. Baseball caps, chewing gum, video. No can do. I know I'm a total party pooper, but there's no way I can go to Red Lobster. I have to stay home. I have to rest. I can't move. Chip is like, how come you don't want to go out any place? I'm this huge moose with no hair, a cheapo wig, and cancer. And I'm supposed to go and eat a seafood platter? No can do. Okay, home. The Illinois sunrise demonstrates exactly what an alien you are in your car on the prairie, heading north to Chicago, where some Irish guy aimed 100 years ago. That's why you're going there instead of somewhere else. He is controlling your life and the direction of your auto. If he had decided on Boston, you'd be driving there instead. Funny how he let this geezer place us here and give us an accent, expecting us to live surrounded by corn and soybean fields. In a booth at the Dixie truck stop, you drink your bottomless coffee and figure how the rustics to your left and the military personnel to the rear were similarly plonked down in the middle of nowhere. Simple souls that we are, we now call this region home. These are two poems from a series called Edible Anecdotes. Edible Anecdote number 17. Oh yeah, it's an all-you-can-eat salad buffet, all right. But did you notice that your rear end barely fits on these chairs, and to get past the other tables, you have to hold your breath? Not only that, but every time you get up with your plate, you're surrounded by mirrors telling you that your spare tire and midriff bulge are thriving, and that everyone in the place is watching your blubber ripple. To top it all off, the waitresses are as thin as sticks. Oh yeah, all you can eat my eye. Edible Anecdote number 18. Life holds no more unpredictable delights for me. I know now that if he asks me out on Friday night, it means a meal at Gino's. Nothing personal against Gino, but it isn't exactly romantic to line up outside for half an hour with every sort of rowdy, and once inside, have to scream at each other while we pull apart our triangles of pizza and slurp beer from mugs. Not that we never scream at each other. He always carves our initial in a heart on the woodwork in our table, just so I won't get angry when we have to go and park down at the beach afterwards so he can smooch. There are no surprises for me. If he calls on a Saturday, it means a movie and a chocolate shake. This is the Great Blasket Island, and I thought this poem up after I saw a television program on Irish television about some people who had gone back to their old houses on the Great Blasket Island. 6 men born on this island have come back after 21 years. They climb up the overgrown roads to their family houses and come out shaking their heads. The roofs have fallen in, birds have nested in the rafters. All the whitewashed rooms, all the nagging and praying and scolding and giggling and crying and gossiping are scattered in the memories of these men. One says, 10 of us blown to the winds, some in England, some in America, some in Dublin. Our whole way of life extinct. He blinks back the tears and looks across the island, past the ruined houses, the cliffs, and out to the horizon. Listen, mister, most of us cry sooner or later over a Great Blasket Island of our own. Let her guess Strand. Let her guess Strand has all these ghosts running through the windy spray, wave after wave of people I know haunting the beach like translucent jellyfish. There goes my father, examining a rock pool with a starfish floating. I wish a handful of bleached sand didn't remind me of that plastic bag labeled, "This package contains the cremated remains of..." 2. The ringing gets louder. I search everywhere. I push aside soft, rounded rocks, globs of seaweed, pick up a tiny curved shell and hold it to my ear. Your voice, a little distant, is talking to me, telling your old jokes, gushing about where you are now. It's great to hear from you. I should have known you'd be hanging out on this chilly Connemara beach. No, I'm not in a rush. Keep talking. I'm listening. And this poem is called Brightly Knitted Bolivian Chi'ulu, and it's about a hat that I knit for my father when he was really sick. Jack, my father, I am flying to you on words, on white-topped condor wings of thoughts, to the high altiplano where you are perched. I need to tell you the message hidden in the chi'ulu, the pasamontagna, the brightly knitted hat I made for your last winter. I worked in magic Tucapu patterns and Bolivian pictographs. It was a spell. Bright green birds with yellow eyes against a lavender background meant, don't leave this world. The waves knitted into the band above your eyes were talking about how happy and well the lake water would make you. Oh, I can't remember what all I wished to say in my knitted hieroglyphs. I clicked those needles furiously, watching Incan markings appear. I wanted your chi'ulu to have powers. When you pulled it over your ears, I whispered to you. This is called problems. Take weeds, for example, like how they will overrun your garden and your life if you don't obliterate them. But forget about weeds. What about leaves? Snails use them as handy bridges to your flowers, and hordes of thuggish slugs will invade. Ever thought about that? We won't even go into how leaves block up the gutters. I sure hope you aren't neglecting any puddles of water in your bathtub. Discoloration will set in. There's the wasp problem, the storms problem, the grass growing between the bricks in the driveway problem. Then there's the remembering to lock all the windows problem. Hey, knuckleheads, I guess you just don't appreciate how many problems there are. This poem is called Scary. And I think I started writing it around the time of when everyone was being really frightened of what was going to happen in the millennium. But then it changed into a different idea. Scary. Journeys can be frightening, wouldn't you say? When everyone on the plane stops talking and grabs the armrest and you're over the North Atlantic. What about that scenario? Parties, scary. Bosses, scary. Reviews, scary. Families, very scary. Computers, scary. Waiters and wait persons, scary. It is also complicated to explain, like the way my father used to ask me, how did you get to be so scared? Try being born like me on Kafka's birthday, and you wouldn't need to ask. People are terrifying, for one thing. No way around that sad and sorry fact. Mr. Hotshot is in a hurry and happens to run you over by mistake. Or if you're out strolling along and somebody gets a yen to stab somebody, then sees you. I find that a little scary. Houses. Hope the foundation isn't faulty. Water. Hope it isn't sewage laden. Buses. Hope the driver quits talking on his cell phone. Diet Coke. Hope those chemicals are okay. Work. Hope you don't get a nervous breakdown. Aches. Hope it isn't a tumor. Hey, parents, do you worry yourself sick, what with sharp edges and open flames, and bullies and learning disabilities and maniacs and drugs? Scary. Getting old. Scary. Money. Scary. The future. Scary. Burglars. Scary. Superbugs. Scary. Let's welcome in the new year, hiding under the bed with a baseball bat. Scary.
Scary.